You've been paying into Social Security since your first paycheck. 40 years of that line on your pay stub. Withheld every time, no exceptions. This year, you turn 62, and for the first time, the government is ready to send some of it back. Most people say no. They've been told to wait. What nobody told them, for a specific set of conditions, conditions that may already describe your life, waiting is the more expensive mistake. Here's the mechanic that drives everything else. Social Security is a faucet that's been pressurizing your whole working life. At 62, there's real pressure in that pipe. At 67, there's more. At 70, it peaks. The longer you wait, the harder the water flows when you finally turn it on. That part, most people understand. What they don't model? The longer you wait, the more of that water has to flow before you've caught up to the person who turned the faucet on early. That crossover point, the break even, is the only number that actually matters. And three conditions in your life can move it dramatically. This isn't about gaming the system. It's about understanding which version of the math is yours. Filing at 62 permanently reduces your monthly benefit by about 30%. That reduction doesn't reset when you hit full retirement age. It stays for life. So if your full benefit at 67 would be $2,000 a month, filing at 62 gives you roughly $1,400. You're leaving $600 on the table every single month. For life, except you're not, because you started collecting 60 payments before the person who waited. By the time you both reach 67, you've already collected $84,000. They've collected zero. Now the gap starts closing. Every month they gain $600 on you. At that rate, it takes about 140 more months, just under 12 years, for them to catch up. That puts the break even at approximately age 79. Here's the part the SSA used to publish on their own website, a break-even calculator, and then quietly removed. Not because the math was wrong, because the math made people ask uncomfortable questions about whether waiting always made sense. If you live to 90, waiting wins, by a lot. If you live to 76, filing at 62 wins. By a lot. The break-even is just a number, but it's the number almost no one knows because almost no one is told it out loud. Three conditions shift where that number lands for you specifically. The first condition is your health. Not your health today, your honest projection. Family history, chronic conditions. The things you already know even if you don't like saying them. If your real life expectancy puts you at or below 79, filing at 62 almost certainly produces more total dollars. You paid into this system for 4 decades. The break-even works both ways. Every year you delay, you're placing a bet that you'll outlive the crossover. For some people, that's a safe bet. For others, it isn't. It's not pessimism. It's mechanics. If the pipe is leaking, you don't wait to turn on the faucet. You collect from a system you funded for your entire working life. The second condition is your household. Social Security is not an individual decision when you're married. It's a combined household strategy. Most people never model it that way, and it costs them. The moment you file, your spouse can access spousal benefits. Up to 50% of your full retirement age benefit, arriving monthly years before they'd otherwise qualify. In a household where one spouse earned significantly more, that gap can mean $800 to $1,500 a month. Sitting idle until you file, that's not theoretical money. That's real income your household is leaving uncollected. But the scenario where early filing is most clearly the right call isn't even about spousal benefits. It's about survivor benefits. Say one spouse has health concerns, the other is healthy with a strong benefit. The lower earning spouse files at 62. They collect a reduced check while both are alive. When the higher earning spouse eventually passes, the survivor switches to the larger benefit. That's the two-stage claim. Your smaller check runs as a floor for as long as you're both here. The bigger check takes over when it's needed most. Run the math on that. If the lower earning spouse collects $1,400 a month for 10 years before switching to the survivor benefit, that's roughly $168,000. Money that wouldn't exist if they had waited because they would have jumped straight to the survivor check and skipped their own entirely. It's not a loophole, it's the system working exactly as designed. The third condition is your tax situation. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can be taxed. The IRS determines how much using something called provisional income. Your total income, including wages, IRA withdrawals, investment distributions, and half of your Social Security check itself. Here's where this creates a problem for high earners with large retirement accounts. If you wait until 70 to file Social Security, and your required minimum distributions from your IRA kick in at 73, you may find yourself with two large income streams stacking on top of each other at the same time. Your Social Security check, the one you maximized by waiting, is now 85% taxable. Your RMDs are pushing you into a higher bracket. The check you planned for and the check you receive are not the same number. But if you're in a low-income window right now, between jobs, post-business transition, early retirement, your total income is temporarily low. Filing Social Security now in that window means years of that check arriving at a fraction of the tax rate it would carry once the RMDs start. The pre-RMD window closes at 73. For some people, it's the most tax-efficient claiming window they'll ever have. It's not your timing that's off. It's that nobody showed you the tax map. There's a reason this topic has been everywhere in 2026. The Social Security Trustees Project the Trust Fund depletes around 2033. Under current law, that triggers an automatic 23% benefit cut. Not because benefits disappear, but because incoming payroll taxes only cover about 77% of promised payments. That math is real, and it's added urgency to a decision that was already complicated. Here's what the urgency is actually telling you. Waiting until 70 assumes the full promised benefit arrives in full. Congress has patched Social Security before. They'll almost certainly patch it again. The political cost of cutting benefits is enormous. But the promise of certainty now has an asterisk that didn't exist a decade ago. This doesn't mean panic filing. It means the break-even is one input, not the whole equation. The trust fund question is another input. Your health, your household structure, your tax window, those are all inputs. The advisors who say, just wait, are giving you one variable from a multivariable problem. Your life is an average. The average answer was never the whole answer. Here's what to do tonight. Run the break-even on your own numbers. Then change your life expectancy assumption by 3 years in each direction. If the answer flips completely, the margin is thin. And thin margins deserve more information before you decide. If you're married, model it as a household. Your combined Social Security strategy isn't two separate decisions. Spousal benefits, survivor benefits, and the timing gap between your two filing ages all affect the same pool of lifetime income. The faucet has been pressurizing for 40 years. The question was never just how long to wait. It was always which conditions make turning it on now the smarter move. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple explanations.